We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125. This is Joy News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. Our lead stories are Attorney General set to face off with lawyers of Minority Leader and Richard Jakpa in the ambulance procurement trial. In less than 24 hours, he mounts challenge against application for mistrial and request for inquiry into his conduct following leaked call with third accused. But will the Chief Justice allow live coverage of tomorrow's hearing? We have the latest. Also, political parties divided over EC's decision to remove all agents from the voters' transfer centers, citing chaos and violence. But the NDC says it has uncovered a hidden agenda by the EC to favor the MPP and has instructed its agents not to move an inch. Also, did you know how well your exercise or keep fit determines how healthy your mental health is?
When you work out or when you exercise, you put the body in a state that improves your mood, that takes away anxiety, that improves your entire wellness in general.
And also, later in the bulletin, what has your choice of underwear got to do with your fertility?
Wear these tights underpants. That brings the testes back to the body. That means the temperature of the body and the testes is virtually the same, which defeats the purpose for the testes hanging outside.
The major political parties are sharply divided over the Electoral Commission's decision to have their agent withdrawn from all the voter transfer centers across the country. The EC is citing violence from clashes occurring at some district offices as a result of the exercise. Regional directors have been directed to immediately sack all party agents from observing the process. The EC has directed the returning officers to rather give copies of the transferred voters list to political parties and candidates upon request. But the opposition NDC, after an inter-party advisory committee meeting to resolve this issue, alleges the EC is on a sinister agenda to skew the process in favor of the MPP. Director of Research and IT at the NDC, Dr. Omani has therefore directed all the party agents not to move an inch from the centers.
We will not withdraw our agents from the transfer centers. Look, we have an authority. Specific constituencies and specific number of votes that the MPP wants to transfer to those constituencies. We got that document less than 15 minutes when the EC statement about political parties should withdraw their agents also started circulating.
Look, where's the source of that document?
You may want to ask, where did I get my information about the stolen biometric equipment at the headquarters of the EC from? I will not disclose the source, but I'm the very person who got the information about the stolen biometric equipment at the headquarters of the EC under CCTV surveillance, which they are admitted to. I'm saying I'm the very person, and I trust the source because the source proved to be credible when the source provided the information about the stolen biometric equipment. So the point we are making is that gerrymandering is something that unscrupulous political parties pursue during transfer of votes. We do not want any political party to engage in gerrymandering. All political parties must be interested in free, fair, and transparent elections. Therefore, agents of political parties must be present during this transfer exercise. If you are not careful, you will be deceived to believe that during exhibition of the register.
But the MPP says the position taken by the NDC is confrontational and must not be encouraged. Peter McMenu, Director of Electoral Affairs for the Baumia campaign team, says the MPP will comply with the directive and withdraw their agent.
Party agents to observe the process. However, the EC feels that what has transpired at the various stations, the agents have caused some form of commotion which has led to violence. So they have decided that political parties must withdraw their agents to allow peace prevail. And for us, as a party, MPP, we think that coming events cast their shadows. So what has transpired was not a good thing. And that the EC, in their wisdom and with the authority vested in them under the Constitution, decided that we should withdraw the agents. We abide by it. We will abide by it in the interest of peace and tranquility in our electoral process. What I've said is not in the law. It was out of EC's magnanimity and transparency. But if that is going to bring violence and chaos, and as I said earlier, coming events, it may even lead to killings. Should they wait for that to happen? Withdraw your agents and let peace and harmony prevail at the transfer process system. And I don't think that is fair enough. It means you are being confrontational to the decisions of the authority, which is vested in the Electoral Commission of Ghana under the Constitution of the Republic. We don't have to be confrontational in election processes.
Meanwhile, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, is backing the decision by the EC and demands the NDC complies with the directive in the interest of a peaceful electoral process. Albert Ahin is National Coordinator for CODEO.
The EC is saying that because of the troubles that it is emanating from these centers, you know, somebody was stabbed the other time. I'm sure that must have triggered the EC's decision. So the EC concretely said that all parties should withdraw their agents from the centers.
As election observers, what's your position on that?
No, as I'm saying, it has never even occurred in this commission before. It's not in the law in the first place. So I'm even wondering why the EC, maybe they were being too magnanimous by allowing them to send their people there. It could also be that they wanted to be extra transparent, okay? But if, on the other hand, it's being abused, then they are right to...
Are you backing the decision by the EC?
I, in the first place, wouldn't even want agents to be around when transfers are being made, because the law does not even back it. You can't defend it anywhere because the law is against it. It is not written anywhere that when transfers are being made, parties should be represented.
Let's go on this and speak to Mr. Albert Ahin himself, who is the coordinator of CODEO. Grateful for joining us, sir. The NDC says tomorrow they'll still have their agent at all the voters' transfer centers. How do we deal with this as a nation?
Yes, we need to appeal. In fact, we are going to start something today. We want to have a dialogue,
okay,
if it be possible, so we can avert any danger that might rise out of it.
I mean, we are some few hours from tomorrow when they say their agent will be there. When do you want to have this dialogue?
Well, it's possible we could appeal for the exercise to be suspended at least for 24 hours, which is a possibility.
Okay.
We need to have peace before we can proceed, isn't it?
Sure.
Because we cannot go into an election which is just started. This is just the preparatory stage. This is where we are now. So if we're going to have these problems at the very initial stage, I don't think it's a big problem. So these problems have clearly, the problems have to make the back.
So
we
is
are
that
working, trying to work around the clock.
So is there a possibility that tomorrow we may see a suspension of the exercise just to...
I think that is, it is not even be, you know, it's a suggestion from me.
Okay.
This is coming from me.
Okay.
If it would be possible, maybe the EC was to think about putting some hold on it.
Okay.
For all issues with track. I wouldn't, but I'm sure you also wouldn't, a situation where you have supporters of party parading the exhibition of different centers, singing songs, doing all kinds of things. There has to be a way.
Okay. Grateful for
It's unfortunate. This is what I think we ought to do. All hands to be on deck. I was talking to him, I was appealing to the Peace Council, NGOs, including my own company, so we could put together and see how this is on.
Okay. Thank you. We hope for the best for the country. Now, away from that, in less than 24 hours, the Accra High Court is set to witness a showdown between the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, and lawyers for Akufo-Addo and Richard Jakpa, who are seeking to get the court to dismiss the application for mistrial and inquiry into his conduct as an Attorney General in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial. Richard Jakpa, who is standing trial with the minority leader for causing financial loss to the state, is alleging gross prosecutorial abuse and abuse of the court processes by the Attorney General. Dr. Akufo-Addo cited recent developments involving a leaked telephone conversation between the third accused and the Attorney General as basis for his application. Court correspondent Latif Idrisu joins me via Zoom with more details. First off, what are the grounds of the application filed by Akufo-Addo?
Well, so Praise, you recall that in his first affidavit filed on Friday, May 31, Dr. Akufo-Addo highlighted concerns regarding the leaked tape, which he believes the leaked tape we are talking about, the leaked tape the NDC played on air and have spread it across social media, which he believes, that Akufo-Addo believes, demonstrate professional misconduct on the part of the Attorney General. Now, Mr. Akufo-Addo went on to say that he has no doubt that the Attorney General has engaged the third accused, that is Richard Jakpa, to discuss the current proceedings and the evidence the Attorney General desired Richard Jakpa to give in order to support the prosecution's case. He adds that the content of the recording is scandalous and leaves no doubt the Attorney General and his office cannot be reasonably expected to conduct the instant prosecution fairly and in the accordance with the law. Kojo.
What are the reliefs that Richard Jakpa is also seeking from the court?
So lawyers for the third accused, that is Richard Jakpa, argued that the charges and proceedings initiated by the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, constitute an abuse of court processes and violate the obligations set forth in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. They contended that the Attorney General is misusing his constitutional powers by prosecuting him without justification. So Mr. Jakpa believes here that he's been persecuted by the Attorney General. He also claims that in the private conversations, the Attorney General admitted that there is no case against him. And him here we are referencing Mr. Richard Jakpa. Kojo.
Well, but we also understand that the AG has filed, a case challenging these two positions. Walk us through.
So the Attorney General has described the three applications filed against his office as unfounded, unmeritorious, and unknown to the law. He argues that there are no proper grounds canvassed by the applicant to warrant a grant of these applications, which is unknown to the laws governing criminal law and practice in Ghana. He adds that the instant application is a small screen and it's a veiled attempt by the applicant to abort his legitimate prosecution for actions committed as a public officer, which led to the state losing colossal amount of funds. Same is incompetent as no one has immunity from prosecution under the laws of Ghana. This is captured in the Attorney General's response. He asserts that the Attorney General is vested with the constitutional responsibility to prosecute all crimes within the Republic and cannot be prohibited from discharging this constitutional duty in respect of any person in Ghana, as all persons, as he put it, are equal before the law.
We also know there's been a request put to the CJ to allow for a live telecast of this.
Yes, so last week, if you recall, Akufo-Addo directed his lawyers to petition the Chief Justice, and this was the basis of his request, essentially for the Chief Justice to allow cameras into the courtroom for live coverage of the proceedings. Remember, this is a criminal case. So he said in the wake of the recent expose concerning the alleged misconduct of the Attorney General, Akufo-Addo, he instructed his lawyers to petition the Chief Justice for the live broadcast of all subsequent proceedings in the ambulance trial. He claimed that this request is motivated by a deep commitment to transparency and open justice, principles that are fundamental to fair and impartial legal system. So we wait to see whether or not the court will allow cameras in there for criminal proceedings.
Okay.
That will be yet another ceiling that will be broken if tomorrow we go to court and the judge allows cameras to telecast live proceedings at the High Court.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Now, away from that, and still in court, and Accra High Court has given parties in the ongoing anti-LGBTQI+ case of Mr. Paul Boama-Sefa versus the Speaker of Parliament and another 4 weeks to file their written submissions to support their argument before a determination is made on July 29. Mr. Paul Boama-Sefa, a farmer in the Ashanti region, is praying the Supreme Court to stop the passage of the bill. A bill which has since been passed into an act waiting for presidential approval to make it law. Latif Idris was in court and has the rest of the story.
According to the plaintiff, the statutory requirement for the anti-LGBTQ+ bill to be accompanied by fiscal impact analysis has not been complied with. Under the provisions of the Act, those who take part in LGBTQ+ sexual acts could face imprisonment between 6 months to 3 years. The bill also imposes a prison sentence of 3 to 5 years for the court, willful promotion, sponsorship, or support of LGBTQ+ activities. In a very brief proceedings here at the High Court, the sitting judge, Justice Ellen Mreku, has given the parties involved in this matter, that is the anti-LGBTQ case before this court, up until July 4th for the plaintiff to file his written submission. The Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament have up until July 29 to also file a response, by which date the court is expected to sit for a determination to be made on that matter. Today's proceedings is historic in the sense that for the first time in the history of this republic, TV cameras were allowed into a high court for the live coverage of proceedings. This is part of the Chief Justice's initiative as a way of reinventing the frontiers of the judicial system and also the newly created love affair between the judiciary and the media.
So you call yours to, upon being served within 4 weeks, file it, meaning it's going to take us beyond July. But I want us to come before the end of July to ensure that at least the plaintiff has filed this. Then we can be guided. The next date will be for a determination by the court. So can we come back on the 29th of July? That's fine.
Are we to file by 29th?
I said 4 weeks upon service. You have 4 weeks within which to file. If by 29th all of you have filed, I can give you a date for a determination. But at least by 29th they should have filed because they are supposed to file by the 1st of July. Hopefully you are just here. Date you are just here. So maybe if you file early, they can be served the same day or the day after. So I'm hoping that by 29th all parties would have filed, and I can give you a date. If I am a vacation, then I can come during the vacation for the court's judgment. But on the 20th.
Court's right.
The sitting is expected to reconvene on the 29th of July 2024, by which date all parties involved, the plaintiff, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Attorney General are expected to have filed their written submissions, and then a proper determination will be made on that matter by the sitting judge. from the High Court complex, this is Latif Idris reporting.
Well, access to our courtrooms is beautiful, isn't it? Now, away from that, can running or skipping calm your nerves and help gather your thoughts? For someone like me who does not do a lot of exercises, the answer to this question should be no, because a yes makes no sense. Well, if you are with me on this, then this piece is here to change our minds, because health experts say there is a strong correlation between physical fitness and healthy mental health. My colleague Caleb Mensah highlights how individuals from diverse backgrounds find solace, empowerment, and healing through dedication to exercising and their physical well-being.
So, once you're someone physically fit, it goes without saying that you are mentally at ease and you are able to go about your day-to-day activities, except for an injury or some other mishap. But even in that situation, your mental state will be affected because your mind and emotions will also be affected by the injury and the nursing and the medication and therapy that you're going through. So, there is an indestructible link between physical fitness and a very good mental state that we need to recognize and do everything possible that we remain physically active and healthy.
Fitness plays a major role in your mental health. Your mental health is in your hands. Stay fit.
Well, I've got to stay fit as well, because they say, there's a correlation between your fitness and your mental health. Well, this is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more news, so please don't go away. Welcome back from the break. Now, 15-year-old kidney failure patient Priscilla Asante died less than 48 hours after she spoke to Joy News and made a passionate appeal for the government to absorb the cost of dialysis treatment. Her parents at the time could not afford the much-needed treatment, which left her bloated. But 7 months after her plea and death, her wish has come to fruition, as the National Health Insurance Scheme is set to begin a free 6-month dialysis program. Joy News' Dialysis Crisis Series brought the issue of the high cost of dialysis treatment to the fore. It culminated in a big conversation on the matter last year, with stories checking progress last month. We'll hear from the National Health Insurance Authority shortly, but first, here is Priscilla Santi's story.
The humming sound of medical equipment here at the renal unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital welcoming patients. It's a Tuesday morning and 15-year-old Priscilla Santi is being wheeled into the renal unit here.
The doctors told me I have to be on the machine, and I have to be on that machine either twice or thrice a week.
For now, she has to travel nearly 100 kilometers from Chifu Mampong with her mother to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital every Tuesday and Thursday to have her dialysis session.
My mom and dad do not have money either. We have become miserable. I am appealing to the government to help me live through this. Otherwise, I may die.
Priscilla, a junior high school pupil, now carries a weight much heavier than her school bag. Her daily battle now is not with textbooks and homework, but with the relentless adversary, renal failure.
I want the government to support me so I can live to fulfill my dream of becoming a nurse.
The burden of her illness has not only taken a toll on her fragile body, but has shattered her world due to the family's precarious financial situation.
They said that could be 3.5.
They say every section is 350 cedis. And this in addition to getting blood and other medication.
Priscilla's mother, Ruth Ofori, has been a pillar of strength for her daughter and is determined to ensure her only daughter lives. With teary eyes, she shares the story of her family's headache, struggling to cope with the emotional and financial strain that comes with caring for her only daughter battling renal failure.
From the doctors, if I keep on missing this section, I may lose my daughter.
Well, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says the National Health Insurance Scheme is fully absorbing the cost of dialysis for treatment for patients under 18 years and those about 60 years. He also mentioned that a chemotherapy drug for sickle cell patient, hydroxyurea, is also covered under the NHIS. The flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party said this when he met the clergy as part of his Central Regional campaign tour.
Good thing this morning, let me let you know, because you don't know. And he's saying, National Health Insurance, a few months ago, say dialysis treatment is very expensive. Very expensive. And we said this, and for some reason, a lot of our citizens are getting kidney problems. So the demand for dialysis has gone up, and the cost is high. So we talked to the president, and then we said, look, government has to intervene through National Health Insurance. And I made the announcement a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, that National Health Insurance will work towards providing dialysis treatment for our citizens. And so the good news is that today, 3rd of June, dialysis treatment for everybody under 18, everybody over 60 is free in Ghana under National Health Insurance. Everybody under 18, everybody over 60. And then those in between is going to be subsidized. Because we want to make sure we can afford it in the budget and all of that. But for anybody under 18, everybody under over 60, from today, dialysis system treatment under.
Now, today marks exactly 9 years since the June 3rd disaster, the day which marked a black day in the history of Ghana, claimed the lives of 154 people and left many scarred for life. The tragedy occurred after several hours of torrential rainfall in the capital city, Accra. During the downpour, fuel leakage from the Goel station at Kwame Nkrumah Circle caught fire from a cigarette stub near the area, resulting in an explosion alongside the flood. The floods were attributed to blockages in Accra's main storm drains, resulting from the non-desilting of the drains, including buildings and structures by squatters that had blocked waterways. 9 years on, we'll explore the lessons learned. But first, let's bring you back this report by my colleague Maxwell Agbagba, which better paints the picture of the harsh reality faced by those who survived the disaster.
It is the evening of June 3, 2015. Flood water has displaced fuel from the storage tank underground at the fuel station at Circle. What we know is that a cigarette butt was dropped on the water, triggering a big explosion and a huge fireball that turned the skies orange. The flames continued to burn. A 12-year-old sitting in a room nearby, he suffered severe burns on his face. It completely disfigured him. Eight years later, on a Monday morning, I meet Solomon at East Legon doing what he does every day, begging for alms. That is his only means of survival. He used to sell air freshness but lost his capital when a friend stole his wares. Begging on the streets of East Legon is very difficult for him. Sometimes he gets nothing even after begging the whole day. He says some drivers do not want to see him close to their cars because of his disfigured face. He tells me about an incident where a man asked him to remove the mask he was wearing and stop begging on the streets.
I only get food to eat when I go to the traffic light to beg for money. Many people do not give me money there. Some of them sack me when I get closer to their cars. Some of them think I am wearing a mask. A man once told me to go and look for a job and stop wearing the mask. A lot of people tell me that. I am really suffering here. The hardship is real. I am always scared when it starts raining because I am homeless. I always sleep in front of shops because I do not have a place I call my home.
Solomon's parents separated after the fire destroyed their house at Circle. He fears no woman will be attracted to him because of his disfigured face. He says marriage will be difficult because no woman is attracted to him.
I really need the surgery because I am experiencing a lot of stigmatization. People do not want me closer to them because of my disfigured face. That's why I need the surgery, because that will also help me get a woman to marry later in life. For now, no woman wants me. Even the drivers in cars find it difficult to give me money. Nobody wants me around. When the sun is out and hot and the light hits my face, it's really painful. That's why I need help. I can't touch it because blood will start oozing from my face if I do. So I go and hide in the shade until it's evening.
He's pleading for a job as a tiler and is also begging for assistance for plastic surgery. There are many Solomons out there who are living the trauma of the June 3 floods. Victims of the disaster, including Solomon, are yet to be compensated. Last year, the One Ghana movement reminded the government to do so. Yes, a member, Senyo Husi.
As expected, authorities trooped in to this very space and on the streets, promising, as usual, to bring perpetrators to book. 7 years on, no one has been held accountable for this very avoidable disaster. The government of the day and the government today have all but paid lip service to justice, accountability, and commensurate compensation for victims.
The One Ghana movement has since 2017 been pursuing justice for the persons affected. One of their lawyers, Samson Ladi Anyenini, led the matter in court in 2018. The case is still pending. He says it has been a very slow process.
Because there have been what we call interlocutory processes in the course. But just very recently, we seem to have cleared some of the hurdles. So actually, we're in court, this week. Apart from the plaintiffs that were mobilized by One Ghana movement, we know, as a matter of fact, later, as we discovered, that there were many more who were affected who are not part of the suit in court.
Away from that, fertility experts warned putting pressure and heat on a man's manhood, especially the testicles, could negatively impact your ability to procreate. Fertility experts are warning against the wearing of skin-tight underwears, especially among men, which they say leads to reduced sperm count and functionality of the male sex organ. My colleague Ohim Interior of our health desk reports.
Statistics from the World Health Organization revealed a global decline in sperm count since 1970. Experts warned the continued wearing of skin-tight underwear affects the male reproduction system. Fertility expert at the Accra Fertility Center, Dr. Kwesi Homia, revealed long-distance truck drivers are also at risk of infertility.
When you consider the male, the testis hangs outside for a reason, because it's supposed to be, the temperature is supposed to be slightly lower than the body temperature. So that is why the testis is made to hang outside. Now, if you wear these tight underpants, that brings the testis back to the body. That means the temperature of the body and the testis is virtually the same, which defeats the purpose for the testis hanging outside. So when you wear these for a long time, then it leads to poor sperm counts. Even the sperm could be, the count could be normal, but the morphology, the motility could be very poor. It's the same with long distance drivers. Previously, the cars that used to have the engine under the driver's seat, because of the heat that comes from the car's engine, it tends to reduce the sperm counts.
Experts link factors such as poor and unhealthy lifestyles, among others, to the decline in sperm count. Speaking at the sidelines of a fertility conference organized by Jose Ghana, an NGO fighting infertility stigma in Ghana, a medical officer with the St. Anthony Catholic Hospital, Dr. Samuel Jedu Owusu, cautioned the public to stay away from junk foods and alcohol to improve their fertility.
Pertaining to lifestyle and fertility, you realize that most of the jobs that we do prevents us from being active during the day. It's most of office jobs. So what it does is that in the long run, you realize that you'll be building up fat, your blood pressure will be going high, all these comorbid conditions will now tend to affect the vessels that supply blood to these vital organs that you are talking about, your ovaries, your uterus, even the sperm, the testes that we are talking about. So in the long run, it serves as a comorbid condition affecting your reproductive organs, thereby rendering you incapable or inefficient in the fertility aspect. The junk foods contain more of unsaturated fats, which are harmful fats. And these, as I said earlier, will block your vessels and render you unhealthy.
Jose Ghana, as part of efforts to end infertility stigma in Ghana, is promising discounts on infertility treatment for struggling women. Emiliana Ayele Aji is the director.
It's very difficult to live with infertility, especially when you have married and then you are looking forward to starting your own family, and then you have certain ailments stealing your joy. They are, making it very impossible for you to have a child. You can imagine what is going on in many homes. We need to stop stigmatizing women. We need to support them. We should find out the best way we can support them so that this infertility issue will go away.
From Accra, for Joy News, Ohime Teria reporting.
For us to do showbiz and tell you all that happened over the weekend, and you know what? Becky Bax is here with all that you need. Hi, Becky, how you doing?
Hello to you, Brace. How you doing?
I'm well. Seeing you is enough for me to smile, you know.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Kumasi. Let's talk about Ghanaian actor Kojo Nkansa, popularly known as Linwe. He has been granted bail of 50,000 cedis after he was arrested earlier this morning by the Mainsha Divisional Police for his involvement in a car crash that killed a 3-year-old boy in the Ashanti region. Kojo
in
Nkansa
bandages and look
has been charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving and negligently causing harm. Clinton Yebwa was at the court this morning and has filed this report.
In bandages and looking frail, Kojo Nkansa was arrested shortly after he was discharged from the emergency unit of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. He was carried away by the Mainsha Divisional Police and was processed for court after his statements were taken. The police arranged him before the Asokore-Mampon District Court, where he has been charged for driving dangerously and negligently causing harm. During the court proceedings, the Luen's counsel, Margaret Ejechum, argued for bail.
And also to everybody, because you saw the condition of my client. You saw the condition of my client. He's not even too well, but we have to respect the law. In fact, we were bulldozed here. We didn't come on our own. Fortunately, his statement was taken today, and the courts just saw how he is now. So bail was granted. And it was not just an ordinary game. We need to cross other hurdles to get him free. Thank you so much.
On May 25th, 2024, Kojo Nkansa, who was set to premiere his movie in the evening of the day, was involved in a ghastly car crash at Amekom in Kumasi. The Ghanaian actor is reported to have been speeding when his car collided head-on with an ongoing vehicle and killed 3-year-old Emmanuel Richard Ampoma. The family of the deceased had intensified calls for justice, but police cited ill health as the reason for the delay in causing his arrest. Subsequently after the accident, the actor was seen actively supporting his movie premiere and attending a Thanksgiving service for successful premiering and spare of life. Back at the court, there was a heavy security presence, but prosecutor ASP Emilia Owusu-Ansah, who didn't oppose bail, requested that the accused avail himself as needed whilst the investigation continues. The actor is to reappear in court on June 27, 2024. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Congratulations to them. I cannot wait to have them on Joy News Prime. Hopefully they'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully Tuesday.
And they need to speak to the queen of the business, you know, Becky Bax.
Brace.
But we have to do this one day, like dance, show the world what we can do, you know.
Okay. Let's talk about TGMAs. We all know that the BIM Nation boss has been crowned the Artist of the Year. And the conversation has, before the events was whether or not who is going to win the Artist of the Year. Yeah. Kim Promise's fans, they're all, disappointed because they were hoping that he didn't win. So I put together, so Stonebwoy won 6 awards on the night. So he was crowned the Artist of the Year. He had the best collaboration of the year. He won the best songwriter of the year. This is also the first time that he's winning something like that. He actually mentioned that on stage. Yeah, he did. He had the record of the year for the song Manoji. Manoji got him the best collaboration of the year. The best songwriter of the year was also Manoji. The record of the year was also Manoji. And he had the reggae dancehall artist of the year, which he actually gave out to I think it was Episode who got that, and Raskuku who came on stage. And he got, the first time he got Album of the Year for the Fifth Dimension album. So then King Promise got the Afro Pop Song of the Year. He won the Best Afrobeat Afro Pop Artist of the Year and the most popular song of the year, which we know that is Terminator. There are other wins on the night. Nasi went home with the Best Gospel Artist of the Year and Best Gospel Song of the Year. We're expecting the Asida song got him that. Sarkodie won the Best Hip Hop Song of the Year. He was also in the Artist of the Year category. We don't know what happened to that. Amachi Dede, beautiful night for Amachi Dede because he was crowned with the Lifetime Achievement Award. I was so happy because he's my grandpa. I love Amachi. Who doesn't love Amachi?
And he still has energy.
Yeah, and he performed on the night. Kim Paluta went home. That's your favorite song. Went home with the new Artist of the Year and also Hip Life Song of the Year. We have Strongman for the very first time. He's been, he's been nominated for this particular category for a very long time. But this is the first time he's winning it. This will be his first VGMAs, and he is very excited. Kofi Kinata went home with the Best Reggae, and this was a shocker to everybody because it's in the same category with the likes of Stonebwoy, the Raskuku, and all of that, and winning, coming out with the Best Reggae Dancehall Song for Ifie Kuma Love. Yeah, so that was what happened. I know that you watched it. Yeah, I did. A lot of people talked about Ifie's performance. Yeah. We saw Ifie coming down from the, up there with the Gingham styles. Stonebwoy had a really good night as well. He did. But I believe that this wasn't Stonebwoy's best performance. He sounded like he wasn't too well. I'm not too sure. But Stonebwoy could have done, better than that. But
you know what? Wazza Tate, remember to brush your teeth tonight.
Yeah, before you go to bed tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection, because with Pepsodent, everybody.
Every smile. Martes. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for doing that for me. All right, so on behalf of everyone.
I'm doing that for me, baby.
Okay. Right.
On behalf of everybody, the production team, we say we're grateful to you for staying here with us. My accent just dropped in.
Thank you. Up next is Emma Davis of Prime Business.
We're grateful for your time.
Good evening.